Now that we're getting ready to begin our work with step 2, which involves our writing diagnostic, we want to keep a few things in mind. This work will require that you find a significant amount of time, that you can dedicate to this task. So the estimated time to complete this task is about an hour. That will vary from one student to the next, but regardless of how close to the hour you are with respect to your total work, you will want to be able to take a good amount of time to sit down and think through this assignment clearly and work through it in a focused and in a sustained way in order to be successful with this assignment. So it's one of the first things you want to understand about this assignment is that it will require some significant time from you. What you will be doing in this assignment is completing a writing diagnostic. And in order to complete this writing diagnostic, you have to keep a few things in mind. The first thing I want us to keep in mind is that this assignment is going to involve one of our course textbooks, field working. You will be going through the first 12 pages of field working, that is pages 1 through 12. As you go through this material, I want you to keep in mind the comments about reading and annotating that were offered to you in the video on assignment 1. That is, we want to find a quiet place to do our reading where we can focus for a sustained period, and we want to make sure that we're annotating for both main ideas and also for the questions that we may have about the material that we're encountering. Okay, so you'll see that this idea of annotating is reiterated at the beginning of step 2, and it was also presented in step 1. Once we have done that, we want to come down a little bit further into the assignment and become familiar with what it is the assignment is asking us to do. Beginning with the concepts of culture, which you will find on the 3rd page of fieldworking, and subculture, which is on the 5th page of fieldworking, write 400 words on the major assumptions Professor Linton and the other researchers are making about the Nasarima in Horace Minor's Body Ritual Among the Nasarima. Now, a lot of these terms don't make sense to you if you're just watching this video right now without having read the material, because the instructions are actively referencing the material. So one of the things that's crucial to understand is that if we don't do the reading and annotating that we're asked to do in the assignment, then the instructions will not make much sense to us in terms of when the instructions ask us to do specific things with that material. Okay, so it's really important that we read and annotate fieldworking 1 through 12. Once we do that, we'll have a better understanding of what culture means, of what subculture means. We'll have had an exposure to Horace Minor's essay, Body Ritual Among the Nasarima. Once we've done that, the instructions will make a bit more sense. If we look at the instructions here, it says, as you write, consider how and why it is that their outsider perspectives may be leading them to highly subjective conclusions. Again, that statement will make much more sense once you have actually gone through the material. One of the things I want to draw your attention to in terms of this assignment is the use of key terms that are relevant to the assignment and to our course. You'll notice the term culture, the term subculture. You'll notice the word assumptions. You'll notice the term outsider perspective and subjective conclusions. Those terms and phrases are scattered throughout the assignment. When you answer an assignment, when you're working with these instructions, when you're crafting your 400-word response, you want to make sure that you are actively using the key terms from the assignment in your explanation. That is, you should be talking about culture as defined in fieldworking and also subculture as defined in fieldworking. You should be able to identify major assumptions. You should be able to use the phrase outsider perspective as you explain yourself, as well as highly subjective conclusions. So one of the keys to moving through the assignments in this course is to be aware that the assignments are oftentimes giving you the language you will need to answer the questions that you're being asked.